building today, and I have some powerful, powerful guests in the building. My man Q Morgan, a financial expert, and I got my cousin. You know what I'm saying? My big cousin, actually, my little cousin. I'm older than you. But, he's always played a big role in my life. So I got my big little cousin with me, my man Precise, A. Hooper, man. And today we're going to be talking about financials. Us as black people need to be more up on our financials. We always talk about it. So I got my man Q Morgan here, who is a financial expert. He's going to talk about his program that he has to help with it. But we're going to talk about a lot of questions, and we're going to keep it real. Y'all know how we do it here on FHO Podcast Radio.
That's what's up.
So we're just going to have some fun, gentlemen, but we're going to keep it 100. We're going to talk about where we need to be, where we are as a people, the whole 9 yards, man. And to me, that's what's most important. Because a lot of people, talk finances. A lot of us, we always say, "Oh, I'm straight. I ain't worried about that. I'm straight. I'm straight." Yeah, sound good. But at the end of the day, it's all about really knowing and having people to educate you and teach you and be able to explain, what this is and what that is. I mean, we see it all the time. We always holler about what we want for ourselves, the whole 9 yards. Well, today we're going to hopefully use this platform to help you learn a little bit about it and to be on point. So give me a second, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as we get this day started, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Let's get it, man. What we got going on?
Big Sell. You still keeping it 100. Well, keep hitting those asses with the truth on FHO Podcast Radio.
I'm enjoying my motherfucking life. That's all I'm saying. I advise you to do the same. Do shit that make you happy.
Hey, cocksucker. Yeah, you. Knock it off. Sit your ass down.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
You think we playing?
And I ain't playing, no.
You better listen up.
It's the FHO Live Podcast, where the truth will be told. We promise you that.
God damn. It's Big Sell. What that mouth do besides tell the truth on FHO Podcast Radio.
All right, man, listen up, man. We are here live in the studio, man. And listen, today I have a show for you, not your average show. We're not talking about motorcycle shit today, but we're talking about shit that can buy you a motorcycle. You understand me? Showing you about some shit that you can own your own motorcycle, man, and do your thing. So I'm going to let my guests introduce themselves and let them tell you who they are and give you a brief of what's going on, man. And again, I really, really and truly do thank these cats for being here today. Taking the time out of their busy schedules to show me some love. Actually flying in from all over the world, but you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. So I'm going to take advantage of it. So introduce yourself, sir.
Yeah, I'll be precise. Alex.
Yeah, it is there.
But
Q Morgan.
Most folks call me precise.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Nah, no problem.
Q Morgan. I'm out of Compton via Connecticut at the moment, but I'm born and raised Compton, Linwood, California.
There it is there, man. Compton as well. Compton. I keep telling y'all, I know people that know people.
Yeah.
You motherfuckers. I keep telling y'all. One day y'all gonna fuck around and believe me. But anyway, so today, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about financials. We're talking about financial literacy. We're talking about financial responsibility. And we're talking about where are we as a people. I'm gonna start with you, Precise. What do you think we are as a people when it comes to finances?
Man, when it comes to finances, man, I think we are way behind the curve. I mean, I sit back and I realize in the last couple of years as I started to think about my finance and starting to get it together, how money is obtainable to us, how we can just go out there and make it, but we haven't did it because we don't know about it.
So, yeah, I'm going to piggyback on what you're talking about. I think that, so I have what's called 3 Ps, right?
Yeah.
First, pray, because all your blessings are going to come from God, right? Then plan, because a goal without a plan is just a hope, right?
Yes, sir.
and then practice, because faith without works is dead. What a lot of people do not do is set the goal. Just like you wouldn't leave your house without a destination, you need a goal of where you're headed. So, for example, if I was to come up to you and say, "What's your number? How much is it going to take for you to retire or live comfortably for the rest of your life?" If you don't know, that is half the battle. Once you determine what your goal is, it's easy to reverse engineer, if you will, and get back to, okay, I have a destination. If I'm going to LA, for example, okay, when do I need to be there? Because if I need to be there tomorrow, there's only one way I can get there. Your goal is going to inform how you get there. If you need to be there next week, now you got more options. You can take the train, you can catch a bus, you can drive, whatever. But once you determine what that goal is, then you can get there. To elaborate a little bit more on that, let's say that my number is 2 million, right? That's going to help me live for the rest of my life. You don't need 2 million. You need enough money to generate $2 million. So it may be 700,000. And then over time, if you're getting 2-3% in bonds, another 5-6% in stocks, or other investments like real estate, that's going to help you get there.
Okay. So right now, Corey, what I want to concentrate on is, as a people, like, for example, and this is no disrespect to my family or as well, but we weren't really taught finances.
Right.
So
Because we weren't allowed to learn.
okay.
Right. So if you look at our legacy, and I'll go back to 1784, right after this became a country, there was 4 crops that were free labor that made up 80% of our GNP. Okay. And there's a book called The Half Has Never Been Told by Edward Baptiste. If you look at that book, there's a white guy wrote it. He details very specifically where our money was coming from. So you had King Cotton, Queen Sugar, you had tobacco and rice, all free labor. Those
when you say free labor, what do you mean by free labor?
That means the enslaved people created those resources, that capital. We're a capitalist society. Those enslaved people that are our ancestors, they generated that wealth. That wealth went into banks. They insured enslaved people. They insured slave ships, right? So all of that capital went into banks. Those banks, in turn, right at the turn of the century, in the Industrial Revolution, they funded the Vanderbilts, the Cornelius Vanderbilt. They funded the Astors. They funded all of those Rockefellers and the Fords and the Morgans, right? They have a show called The Men Who Built America. Just like my boy D.L. Hughley say, they didn't build America, they just handed out the job assignments.
Okay. There it is there. So for me, what I'm saying is, like, it hasn't been till lately where my finances have been that important to me. I guess I grew up just saying, hey, well, money, I'm gonna have money, and that's just what it was. So how do we how do we get to okay, my question would be this. For me, at about 45 years old is when I started saying, hey, bro, we need to start stacking some bread.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I don't say it was too late because God has been blessing me and I've been doing well. Could I be a lot further off? Then for sure. Alex, for you, at what age should we start prepping our children to start understanding the importance of finance?
Well, here's the thing, man. We have to start teaching our children now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Whenever now is, exactly.
When they come out the womb, you need to start
Exactly.
teaching them. See, here's the thing, man. When I look back and I look at all these grocery stores, I used to tell my cousins, man, why don't we have a store with hoopers on it? It's a whole bunch of us, right? It's a whole bunch of us. All of us smart, all of us educated, but we don't own nothing. And then I just started looking around, but then we tried to come together. The family tried to come together. We tried to come together and put a investment thing together. For some reason, that never worked. So since it never worked, but what I'm really realizing is it doesn't matter what age you get started at, but right now is a good time because we need to start teaching our children generational wealth. And if we don't teach them, they'll never know. So I think any time is the right time to start learning, no matter what age you are. Wherever you at right now, this is the time to go ahead and get started.
Okay.
I'll piggyback on that and say the ideal time is earlier in life as possible, because what's really going to grow wealth, what a lot of people, they get into the Tulsa real estates, the Forex and the Bitcoins and all these different things, and they don't understand what money is. Money is your time and effort. It is not the currency that we exchange and think is money. That can be manipulated. You can never manipulate your time, right? The time it's going to take you to do something. If I said, okay, I need you to mow my lawn, I'm going to pay you $300 a month. And then all of a sudden they print a whole bunch of money, maybe digitally now, but they print it, and that money will only buy you a cup of coffee, your price is going to change, right? So money is your time and effort. So the sooner you can learn about those concepts, the better, but it's never too late. But the sooner the better, because you need time to grow that money. Because what we're going to be talking about is exponential growth. Taking 2 and make 4, 4 and make 8. That's not a lot when it's hundreds of dollars, but when it becomes thousands of dollars, that's when your eyebrows perk up.
Okay. All right. Exponential dollars. See, these are big
And
words.
risk management.
I'm going to have to go back and write this shit down. All I know is to save, and save some more. That's all I know.
Right.
Sice, for you, when was it for you that you said, hey, man, I really got to get on board with my finances?
Well, it wasn't until actually just one day I was just sitting there and I was like, man, it's got to be something better.
Yeah.
This is like a couple of years ago. So
Okay.
it's just a couple of years ago. I mean, I realized that when I was young, I never really thought about it. Just like you said, we never really thought about it. But then as you get older, you start saying, hey, man, we need to start doing something different. But one day I was just sitting there and I was like, you know what? Shoot, I need more income. I need more money, because we're getting older. We're not getting younger. And then I sit back and I look at my kids, I brung them up well, but I wasn't able to give them all the things that they deserve. And the problem with that is my kids are good kids. And by them being good kids.
Everybody say that.
Oh, no. Hey, we got some proof in the puddings, but it's just that, man, it just hit me a couple of years ago, man. And I was just like, when the family was trying to come together and get these businesses together, that's when I realized, hey, we can have money. And, we was always taught that you work,
Right.
you make money, you live.
Mm-hmm.
But it shouldn't be that way.
Well, you don't know what you don't know, right?
Exactly.
So if you look at things like, if you go back even as 50 years ago, they always provided us with limited resources when it comes to education. The fundamental thing that we're talking about is education. You don't know what you don't know. As you start to learn about defined benefit plans or revocable living trust and things like that, then you can start to create passive income that's sheltered from taxes. You can begin to grow your money exponentially. We don't learn through osmosis. You got to be taught that.
Got to be taught that. Yeah. All right, so Corey, you have an organization, or what do you call it? A group, a club, organization? What do you call it?
Right now, we're trying to be organic and grow it. So let me provide you with the genesis. So It's a group, right? It's not an investment group. We don't collectively put our money together. It's an educational group. A lot of people don't invest in the stock market because they don't want to lose money, for one. And then for two, they don't know how to. So what we're doing is explaining the basics. What is a stock? What is the difference between that and a bond? Okay, what do I invest in? There's 5,500 companies out here. How do I choose? So that's what the group is about.
Okay. And it's called the
Kool-Aid Diaries. What does that mean? So if you guys remember Jim Jones, all of the media that's going around now, they're trying to get you to buy these very risky, I wouldn't even call them assets. They're speculative investments. And if you're investing in those, you're gambling. And a lot of people will argue you to death.
Well, aren't you gambling when you do stocks, though?
Not really. That's why we have a risk management model.
So the stocks is not gambling.
I'll say this. You can wake up tomorrow and Bitcoin is down 60%. Like nothing. It's down 60% as we speak, right? From its high.
Yeah.
If you
Well,
woke
I
up
got in when it was. I'm still up on Bitcoin, but anyway.
right, but if you woke up tomorrow and Apple was down 60%, you got bigger problems. You got worldwide issues going on.
But then I also tell people all the time how it's not really a gamble. You go to Vegas, you throw your money on the table, you throw the dice. If your number don't come up, you lose. But with a stock, you throw your money in that stock. If it goes down, right, you still got an opportunity to win. All you have to do is just sit back and wait.
Let me elaborate on that. So what I do, let me elaborate on what I do first. So I work in actuarial data science, right? I'm a senior director, 3 degrees, right, in the discipline. This is a relatively new discipline, but basically it's statistics. And what we do, I work in financial services and have been for 20 years. What we really do is try to predict the future. We're and won all kinds of awards, right? But I don't want to veer too much off the topic first of what the Kool-Aid Diaries is. Let me address that question first, and I'll come back. So the Kool-Aid Diaries, Jim Jones, he led all those people to Guyana, right, on this hyperbole and really sensationalism of the gospel, right?
Okay.
Had them all drink Kool-Aid, died. What you see now with a lot of media, social media included, is a lot of people are being misinformed. All we want to do is inform people because we believe that if properly informed, people can make the decisions that are best for their particular situation.
Okay.
So the Kool-Aid Diaries is all this misinformation. It's not necessarily the name of our group, but what we're trying to detangle. So one of the taglines is R is greater than G, right? So the rate of return on capital is greater than the growth in the economy.
So R is greater than G. That's what that stands for. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, man, I want you guys to get your popcorn and start buckling down because now what we're finna do is get into the meat of the whole thing. One of the things I want to say this on air is that I'm most proud of these two cats because I watched them grow up. We watched each other grow up. We've been there. We fought with people, got chased by Crips and Bloods and all kind of shit. So, we done been there. We're all, born and raised in Compton. We all have, been there and seen it all and done it all, man. So to be here today,
Thank God.
to be talking about
so
this
many
type of, for this to be our conversation today, I definitely want to thank both of you guys, man, and give you guys a round of applause and tell you how much I love you and appreciate you. So
Likewise, appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
that's what it is. Corey, for you, what was it for you that made you say, "Hey, it's time for me to do something about, the not knowing"?
Be honest with you. So we have a few cousins that are in entertainment, and I was around them a lot, and they had somebody working for them that pulled me to the side and was, hey, ride with me real quick to my house to pick up something. And I rode with him, and he had elevators in his house, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to be waiting outside because whatever's going on in here, I don't want to be caught up with it.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, you tripping out. What's wrong? I just thought he was into something illegal, and I didn't want no parts of it. Sat me down, and was like, well, nah, my father got me into real estate, and I'm hanging around your cousins and stuff because they the cool dudes.
Okay.
I got the money, but I want to be around these cats. So that was the initial thing. Then he kind of like, watch this. He's showing me the different stocks or whatever. He's showing me how he bought this house and made some investments or whatever and the proper timing and all that. From there, I took it and ran with it. I started doing my own research.
Okay. So and that's what made you say, okay, well, this it ain't no, everybody ain't selling dope.
Well, that wasn't the genesis. I mean, I think we all have the hunger to want to have financial freedom. Nobody wants to work for somebody else. I mean, everybody want to be their own boss and all that stuff. And we're all kind of in the ocean, if you will, grasping, trying to figure out how do I do this? And we're not being taught.
Yeah, we just don't know.
Right.
I think one of the biggest premises, though, is that you have to have a lot of money to get started. Is that so?
Yeah. A lot of people think that. But I'll say this, and the example that I use on our calls, that when we have our calls, we do Zoom calls with our group. And, it's if you have a defined benefit or defined contribution plan, or in those you have your IRAs, your 401ks, your 403bs, and all these types of investments, and we focus on those for a reason. If you're in those, the example that I use is last February, our crazy president came out and said, we have one case of COVID coming in from China. Fast forward 6 months, we have 50 million of them. That's exponential growth. Now, how do you grow your money similarly in concept and with risk management? So if I look out, and I'll give you an example of probability. So we apply probability to it. So if I look out and I see that it's getting windy and it got dark all of a sudden, then I see lightning. Then I hear the thunder, boom, right? I grab an umbrella. People are like, what you doing? Well, it might rain because I've gotten the signs that it might rain. What we do with our investments is very similar. We look at the signs. I did correlation analysis. I did regression testing for the data, and I did back testing. I've applied the model, and I can look back 80 years, and this model has worked during every recession. That you actually make more money when the market's going down. And then as these individual stocks are going up, you're not going to make as much, but I'll use the concept like this. You have car insurance, you have life insurance. Some people even have insurance on their dogs. Why you don't have insurance on your investments? Because you don't know. Okay. And this is what this is trying to... We focus on that, but it's not just investments in stocks. A lot of people, we were raised, buy a house. If you ain't buying your house, you throwing away money. That is a lie. There's a time to buy, because if that's not the case, here, let me go sell you this $80,000 Toyota Camry at 0% interest. You look at me like I was crazy. Mm-hmm. But that's exactly what people are doing now. But see, I'm old enough to remember 2008, 2001, or 2000. I'm old enough to remember 94, right? If you had bought your house, right, in 2003 in Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Florida, South Florida, any of these hot markets, at one point you probably had 50, 60% equity. Within a year, you lost all that and was probably upside down. Now, if you put money down like I did, you learned a very, very valuable lesson. And at that time, I knew better. But I was listening to people that were older than me. And really, that was also a turning point for me where I said, okay, how can I take this bad situation and make a good situation out of it? So again, because I was already doing it for work, I'm winning awards and things like this at work. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm saving these companies millions and millions of dollars. How can I apply that to people that look like me? So I took the concept of risk management and flipped it on its head. And this is what we have here.
Which is the Kool-Aid Diaries.
The Kool-Aid Diaries group.
All right, so the Kool-Aid Diaries group, how do you join that, or how do you become a part of that group?
So we have right now, again, it's organic. We don't have a podcast, but we do Zoom calls and things like that. So it's really about financial literacy. It is a private group on Facebook that you have to be invited to. Okay. So if you're interested, you can email me at qmorgan@bu.edu. Or contact, anybody that's in the group. But on Facebook, it's the Kool-Aid Diaries.
Okay. But there it is. There are sites. Are you remember the Kool-Aid Diaries?
Yes, sir.
How has the Kool-Aid Diaries helped you?
Well, you have to understand, like I was telling you before, tell you really how the Kool-Aid, another way form that the Kool-Aid Diaries came about is, it's just like we were trying to get our family to just invest together, and it became unattainable. And so what we decided to do is, I said, Corey, man, we need to just do something where we can invest our own money, because trying to get a group of people to collectively to put money into a pot, a lot of times we don't trust each other.
Right.
And I tell them, so I'm understanding we're not going to get one another to put this money in the pot, and if we do, somebody gonna always have a problem with that.
When we buy a house, who's gonna live in it?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I want to rent it to my friend. Why you rent it to your friend? and everything else that goes
All of that
on.
stuff that go
Yeah.
on, man. You know,
And so what we decided to do, I said, man, we need to just go ahead and just start teaching this to each other.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
said, so we need to figure out something. So that's when Corey came up with the Kool-Aid Diaries. And what we do is we just get together. And what our main thing is this. Information is the most important key to anything.
right. And piggyback on that
Yeah.
one point, let me just interject real quick there, is when we get together, we have what's called a Q&A session where we talk about anecdotes. Everybody contributes because, and I'll give you an example, there's a couple of people, I'll say this, everybody last year that was a part of our group provided me with opportunities where I made at least $10,000. Every single person, right? Now, that 10,000 is relative because I have a little bit more to invest, but then there are people in our group that have more than me. And if we're doing 60, 70%, which was an outlier, that is not normal. We did that last year. Let me just clarify that. We're not doing those types of numbers. But what we're not doing is the type of numbers you see
Shit,
in
long as we ain't
GameStop.
taking no losses, we don't give a fuck. I mean,
Exactly.
I take a 10% win over a 30% loss. You understand?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And basically what we try to do is, again, I work in risk management. We work in contingencies. If I'm driving down the street in my brand new car, there's $80,000 and I get hit, I want to make sure that if there are injured people in the car, I'm not going to get sued. So if you look at that car as your investment, the insurance is the hedge that we put on our investments. It's the exact same concept as a hedge fund.
Okay. My man Nicholas C. Moses said everyone wants to be a boss, but most people don't want to do the work.
Very, very true. And I say that all the time. But even if you think about what I was saying with my example, I wanted to be the boss, right? And I was given a direction and goals and some information. I didn't trust the person that was giving me the information. I didn't know him well enough. But I went and did my own research and said, okay, well, yeah, this is legitimate. And then it's the work that I do for a living. So when I started winning awards and, I'm saving the company 50 million and 100 million and I'm getting crumbs, I'm like, okay, well, then I'll tell you what they told me. Well, you work for us, right? So I said, okay, well, let me take these concepts and give them to people that look like me that may have a few more resources. And I had some partners at first, and as you know, Sel, we were going to have a podcast. But they wanted me to sell it. And I was like, well, no, I want to give this information to people that look like me first. Then if we want to sell it to other people, fine. But the actual model, I created that, right? I want us to benefit from it first. But to your point, you want to be the boss, you got to put the work in.
And as I was saying, though, information is the key. So
Yeah.
what we normally do is we come together, we get on the phone call, we come to our conference calls, and we sit up and what do you see? What do you see in your neighborhood? What do you see? Because it's just like Corey said, one of his famous sayings is this. We don't want the shoe company. We want
Right.
the shoestring company.
Right.
Because the shoestring company is supplying all the shoe companies.
Mm-hmm.
So if you invest in a shoe company, the shoe company, you're not going to make that much. But if you invest in a shoestring company, all the shoe companies got to come together.
I'm going to tell you it's a company that I would love. I'm going to tell you who I would love to be.
Who was that?
I would love to be the motherfucker that make all the cardboard for Amazon because he rich as a motherfucker. Because they sent me a damn remote control in a damn cardboard box this damn big. I'm saying, yeah, that's why because whoever he is rich as a motherfucker.
You can say that again, man. It's just,
He rich as a motherfucker. Amazon getting their bread too, don't get me wrong. But the nigga, whoever own the cardboard, yeah, he making he's shipping out hundreds of pallets daily.
If you look at it like this, though, so you have the concept is this, right? You want that company that has those contracts with them. A perfect example is one of the companies we had last year was called NVIDIA, right? Mm-hmm. We bought that company that supplies chips to all of the car manufacturers. They supply chips to all of the gaming companies. They supply chips for the boards that they're actually doing the mining for blockchain. And then blockchain is the fundamental foundation for all of cryptocurrency, including Bitcoin.
But then they also on your computers.
And they're on your computers.
Phones.
Right.
Anything.
That's the shoestring.
Yeah.
Right. Everything else is a shoe.
I think that's major game right there, man. 'Cause
Right.
I mean, like you said, why buy Nike when I could just buy the shoestring and be connected?
Yeah, how much it
I
costs
could
to
do
make a
business with
shoestring?
Nike. I could do business with Adidas. I could do business with
That part.
Stacey Adams.
Yeah,
That part.
the whole 9 yards. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Play a game, man. Major game, man. Major
Right.
game, man. So when it comes to, all right, here it is. I got $2,000, Corey. Where do I
Right.
start?
First thing you start with is you sit down and you say, what am I trying to do?
Make $1 million. What the hell?
Okay,
yeah.
$1 million. Circle that $1 million. How long do you need to? before you need
Today.
it? Okay. Well, you,
When you gonna get it today, man? You got to put the
Right.
work in.
I'm just saying.
Remember?
but no, seriously, $1 million. You circle that and you say, okay, I need that in 10 years, and then you can get an amortization table on the computer, and we'll punch that in for you and say, okay, well, gonna be a little bit riskier than if you needed 20 years to get that $1 million with $2,000, because $2,000 it'll grow to 4, it'll go to 8. Over the years you're gonna grow it exponentially. What I've learned, and Precise will tell you, we used to trade options and do all of this stuff, but our system is set up to where if you have a income, and as far as, in other words, if you are a endorser of a check and not a maker, you signing the check on the back, you getting taxed up the yang. So you're gonna be in the damn 50% tax bracket, 30%, 32% federal, and then state, and then FICA, and all this other stuff. You're not gonna get there. You need a vehicle that's gonna protect your taxes, and that's defined benefit or defined contribution. So the first thing you do to answer your question is start with that goal.
What? Just to circle $1 million and
No, you got to have a timing. If I'm going to LA, when do I need to be there?
I got you. Okay, so I'm
right.
telling you. All right, so I got $2 million. My goal is, I got
Hey, he
2,000.
jumped up.
I'm sorry. I got two. I got 2,000.
Right.
Where do I start? I mean,
Okay.
if I got 2,000, I got a 10-year projection of $1 million. Where do I start?
Then you come to our call. Once you have the half of the battle is having a destination. Your destination is 2 million or 1 million or 2 million, whatever it is, and you have a starting point, $2,000. We're gonna show you how you get there. Okay. So, but that is like we've been saying, is information. Information is via education. You got to educate yourself, because this is what I don't want to happen. I got 20 years experience. I done been in leadership for half that time, right? I'm 3 degrees. That means nothing to me if I die tomorrow with all this information in my head. This information, I want other people to have it, and I don't want to charge them for it.
Okay, but what I'm saying is this. So do I open up an account first that costs $100? Do I have to get
This is
a
before
trading
that
account? Do I get a stock?
You got to reverse engineer it. So you got to start with $1 million.
Yep.
And you have to look at the $1 million and say, okay, I got 10 years to get there.
Right.
Right? Because you said you're giving yourself 10 years. Now, you take
How
$1
much?
million and you go backwards.
You amortize it backwards.
Listen to what I'm saying. I think
You might not even know what amortize means, right?
Listen. Yeah, I think y'all missing the point. What I'm saying is this. Okay, I'm listening to this Big Sales podcast.
Right.
This shit is very interesting. It's some cool shit. And wow, I never thought about it like that. Okay, so right now, to my name, I got $2,000 saved up.
Right.
Do I open up an account as far as a trade account? Do I open up a bank account? Do I open up how do I, you know what I'm saying? What do I need? What are the tools that I need to get started, before I even put the $1 million on the wall? What do I need? How do I get in the game to play? How do I get on the team in order to play the game?
So remember what I said about 3 P's is, right? We didn't pray it already. Mm-hmm. Now it's about planning. The planning part comes in before you even open an account. So before you open that account up, you want to make sure you understand what stocks are. Maybe that's not risky enough for you. Maybe you need a different vehicle. What this is going to do is give you the information first. Once I give you the information, you're going to know for what's best for yourself.
So if I want to trade stocks, can I just say, okay, just open up stock.com and just
No. You got to come to.
No, once you get the information, you will know. Okay, then now I know I need a brokerage account.
See, that's what I'm saying.
You see what I'm saying?
See, that's what I'm trying to get to. So do you have? So
No. Let's back up.
Okay.
Keep in mind, that's why I didn't want to go there yet. A brokerage account means that as a cash account that is taxed very heavily. The model that we've created is through your defined benefit or your defined contribution. Most people don't have defined benefit because that's a pension plan. Defined contribution plan, that is a 401k, it's a 403b, it is a 529 plan for your kids, it's an IRA, traditional or Roth.
Okay.
That is going to protect you because with $2,000, you want to be able to grow that money,
Without it being
without
taxed,
it being
without it
taxed or
being-
being pre-tax or
Yeah.
tax deduction. Right. Does that make sense? I want to make
No,
sure that.
listen what I'm saying.
But like I'm saying,
But you
Marcel,
open that
this
account.
is the thing.
Yeah.
Once you come, you get the information. You know, okay, I need a brokerage account. But not only that you need a brokerage account, now you know what type of brokerage account you need, whether that be an IRA or whether that be, Q. Whether it be
401k.
IRA,
You might already have a
401k,
401k. Most people are going to have a 401k or something already.
I don't even have a 295B, so I don't know.
But let's say that the best way to do this though is to walk through a scenario. Let's say that Kevin is 29 years old. He got $2,000. He works for this company. That company is going to offer a 401k match up to 4%, 100% up to 4%. Kevin ain't even contributing to the 401k because he ain't never learned about it. That's why you come to the Kool-Aid Diaries, and we're gonna break it down for you.
Okay, so I don't have a job.
You don't have a
I
job.
don't have a job. I'm hustling. I'm picking up cans and
Yeah.
cutting grass, and I'm doing all that. But I got a business.
Okay.
I don't have a job. I have a business.
Mhm.
Okay, and I save money for my business. I got $2,000 saved up.
And your goal is $1 million.
My goal is $1 million.
The first thing we're going to do is what we call an assessment. Okay. You have any debt? Right? If you have debt, you're going to pay that off first.
Okay.
Right? Because that debt is going to eat and grow exponentially too. So if you have $5,000 worth of credit card debt, it's not time for you to invest yet.
Boom. See, now we get some. See, that's what I'm saying.
This is organic.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying.
unscripted.
We get into the meat of it. That's what I'm saying. Because my thing of it is,
Eliminate your debt first. And I say first after
so
you.
come up with a goal where I'm saving an extra $100 a week at work or extra, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Okay, so boom. That's what I'm saying. I knew I was going to get to it, Cecil. I got you, Cecil. I got you. So first thing we want to do, I'm
Set a goal. It's
29
first.
years old.
Yeah.
I got $2,000. Set my goal $1 million in 10 years. I'm gonna have $1 million in 10 years.
Right.
Boom. I do boom. So what I have to do is I got $8,000 worth of debt. So boom. Before I can start investing, I need to take this $2,000 to pay off these $8,000 worth of debt. So that means if I got to save, okay, so I'm gonna cut back on coffee. I'm gonna cut back on Burger King every Thursday. Then I'm gonna save that little $20, $30, and I'm gonna add that to my debt. So once I wipe the debt out, and now I got $500
you can do these in
left.
parallel. You can do these things in parallel.
can
As
you
you're
do?
wiping that debt out, you're educating yourself.
Okay. Boom.
Right? That information is starting to come. You're educating yourself, and you're slowly but surely
Wiping out the
bringing down that debt.
Okay. Okay.
One thing that I've noticed is that once you start learning and you start putting your money up and you start seeing the money grow, you're gonna keep putting more to it.
Right.
It's like the more that I make, the more I want to add to it.
Because you can
And-
see that
and
light
it's
at the
just-
proverbial end of the
yeah.
tunnel.
So I mean, at the same time, you do want to pay down your debt as quick as possible, but you can go ahead and start saving at the same time.
And a lot of that comes to the point what he's making is, let's say that your interest rate, hypothetically, let's say you have a loan. You don't have what's called revolving credit, like a credit card. Let's say that you got $8,000 worth of debt, but you took a loan out to your credit union and they gave you 5%. We're going to do that a quarter. So you saying I can invest this money and then use my returns and pay off this debt. So there's ways.
So where do I start it? So how do I invest the $2,000?
So you take that $2,000 and what we're talking about as defined contribution plans, they're just vehicles. Those aren't investments. The next phase of this is the investment part where we use the model. So let's say we're going to do stocks. We're not going to do real estate because there's a reason for that. So we're going to do stocks because where we're headed, and this is what I really wanted to emphasize, we're headed for massive inflation, and that's going to erode your growth potential. But for those of us that are invested in the right equities or stocks, we're going to benefit. You're going to get way greater return than you would paying off your debt. But again, you have to be informed about that.
Okay.
So the vehicle, let's say, okay, IRA. Okay, you put that money, that $2,000 in the IRA. The first thing that you're going to do, if it's traditional, you're going to get a tax deduction
Okay.
for that $2,000. So for every $2 you put into this account, under $75,000, you're going to get $1 of it back from the government that you would have never seen before. I mean, again, that you would have been taxed on. So that's giving you a 50% return right away, right? If you have a 401k and your company matches, you're getting a 50% return off the top.
Just
You
like
can-
with my company, I get 100% return immediately.
Immediately.
Because they giving me 100% on the first 9%, so I put in the full 9%. So
Right.
every month when I put in my 9%, they give me 100% of that 9. Now I done grew my money double.
Right. You're not going to get that in the stock market anywhere. And let's say, for example, you do that for a year, and you say, "Well, I can't afford because this is what you're going to get. I can't afford to invest the max in my 401k."
And this is what I tell people with that.
Yeah,
If
hold up
you-
a second. Let me finish my point.
Okay.
You go immediately and change your W-2, right? Let's say you have 0 exemptions. Raise your exemptions up. Now, you're not going to get this huge tax refund that you used to, but your money is working for you all year long. And keep in mind, you're getting that 100% that Precise talked about on your money. Then at the end of the year, you say, you know what? I struggled all this year, but now you got $10,000. You can go borrow half of that from yourself, pay yourself back the interest.
Because like I was saying though, it's like I sit at work sometimes and I ask these kids, hey, how much of your money you got going into your they said 3%. That's what we started with. I said, why don't you put the full 9%? Because you're getting 100% on your money. They say I can't afford to. The same reason you can't afford to is the same reason you can't afford not to.
Yeah.
The reason you broke is because you're not putting the money where it's supposed to go. But if you put that money here, now you got a 200% of what you originally started with. Instead of you only putting the 3%, you throwing away, what, 70, 80% already?
Yeah.
So you don't
Return.
throw away 80% of the money. And just like I said, like he just said, you can borrow that money if you actually truly need it. Instead of going to a bank and paying them the interest, you can borrow it from yourself.
Right.
And pay it back to yourself.
But what
with
usually
interest.
happens though is you get into a habit where you've made some sacrifices and things like that. I mean, for very few individuals, you may not be able to, you might have struggled the whole year, but you save that money to get that match. Once you got that match and they put that money in your account, some will put it in your account every month. Mine does it annually as a carrot stick to keep you there. But once they make that deposit in your account, that money is yours. So that's an instant return. From there is when we start to look at what stocks do I buy. There's 5,500 companies. I don't have a clue which stock to buy. That's the model that we've created.
Okay. So, and that's the part where you say, in the meantime, while I'm getting myself together and getting myself prepared, that's where my education is coming in at.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. And that's very important too, because like you said, what is a stock? Let's talk about that. I heard you mention it. So what is a stock?
So stock basically is ownership within the company. You're getting equity within the company. It's a publicly traded company or private, but mainly what we're dealing with are publicly traded companies. And on the flip side of that, you can also lend the company money, and those are bonds. So if I want to get a fixed amount every quarter, let's say I want to get 3% a year, and you divide that up quarterly, I have $1 million. I want to get a fixed amount. I don't want to take very much risk. I want to get AAA bonds, which is loans to the company. They're going to give me what's called a coupon. It might be 3%. They're going to send me that money, so 3,000. Oh, no, sorry, 30,000. We talked about $1 million. They're going to send me $30,000 a year quarterly, right? They're going to break it up in quarters. That's bonds. If I want to invest in a company, that's stocks.
So stocks is company, bonds is
A loan to the company.
a loan to the company.
Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to investing in stocks, you got high risk, low risk, slow,
Yep.
fast. What's the difference in those?
Well, under traditional circumstances, you have what's called value companies, which means they're undervalued based off of how you analyze the company's worth. They have the return on equity or return on their capital or the price of the stock, right? What they're trading at. Let's say that Apple's trading at $150, and then they have so many shares outstanding, which is what they call their market capitalization when you add those two together. That company is worth $2 trillion when you add those two, when you multiply those two together. That's what the company is worth for the shareholders' perspective, right? What you want to do is you want to say, okay, is this company going to generate more money than they are worth, right? The Apples over time. If they don't have any profit, so you have a top line, which is revenue. That's how much money they're bringing in. But then they have what's called overhead, all your employees, all your supplies, so on and so forth. Then you have a bottom line, which is your profit. You can get away with not making profit for 5, maybe even 10 years. But if you're in a company that doesn't have any profit, it's only a matter of time before they go out of business. So you want to invest in companies that's not just making a profit, but growing their profit.
So because I know a lot of people, when they come into this game, they may play here, play there, invest this, invest that, just sporadically. But you guys teach
a model. The model that I teach is I've done the hard work for you. There are, 200 and something different criteria or metrics that I did the analysis on, and I back tested it. So I did a correlation analysis. I said, okay, go back in history, go back 30 years and tell me what happened that 30th year, and then the 29th year, how did it turn out with these different criteria? And I did permutations and all this other stuff. You don't have to do that. I've already created the model. You run that model, it's going to spit out, instead of 5,500 companies, it's going to spit out about 20 to 30. From those 20 or 30, you select companies that you know. And then we talk about, what are you seeing with restaurants in your area, right? Are they full? Whatever it is you're seeing.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, last year, one of the women in our group, he says, you know what? I work with a lot of companies that are using digital signatures because of COVID, right? And I believe that once people get exposed to these digital signatures, they're never going to go back. That company was called DocuSign. We invested, they went up 150-something%. So,
but all that came from the information. So
Right.
basically, we sit around, we talk, we look at the model, the companies that generates, they're there, and we talk about what we want to do and all those different things, and then we see with what we're talking about, which one of these companies has something to do with that. You see what I'm saying? And then we say, okay, well, if that's what's going on, then we need to go ahead and get this company,
right.
and that's what we do.
But even before we even start looking at companies, you wouldn't go buy a car without having a what they call deductive reasoning of how much is this car worth, right? You guys like motorcycles, okay? Would you spend $180,000 on a regular Harley? No, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna say, okay, based on the market and all these different conditions, this is worth X price, right? What we do is we look at the stock market the same way. We say, okay, based on the S&P 500 PE ratio over time, and then you can't just look at it because our government prints so much money. You need to know what that money is worth, the value of that money. Because if I dilute the currency, I create what's called asset bubbles. The problem with asset bubbles is poor people don't have assets, right? And that's where you get that divide or income inequality. Our motto is just put your money with the crooks. We already know this is a very crooked game. Put your money with the crooks. You are not about to outwit the crooks.
Wow. Yeah. All right, man, we're going to pay some commercials, man, and pay some of these bills up in here, man, and pay for some of this shit up in here, these lights and all this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? We'll be right back, y'all. Enjoy yourself.
Montana Cigar Company sells premium cigars and accessories. Located in Union City, Georgia at 4641 Flat Shoals Road, Suite C, Union City, Georgia 30291. Montana Cigar Company offers a smooth, laid-back, serene, mature adult environment for cigar aficionados. Discounts for all the first responders, military, teachers, and nurses. Come enjoy your favorite games and boxing matches on our big screen TVs. We also have a poker table where you can come and try your luck. Media King, home of the one-time payment. Tired of paying fluctuating cable bills? Well, switch to Media King with over 1,000 live TV channels, along with all the sports packages like NBA, NFL, MLB Pass, and all other sports previews. Also, you get newly released movies with over 25,000 movies already in the library, including over 1,000 of your favorite TV shows and series, and much more. And for all of you adults, we also give you XXX movies when you buy a Media King box. You get excellent live customer service and a warranty plan. All that's required is a good Wi-Fi signal, and you're watching your favorite movie or show with no monthly bill. Contact your local rep for more details and to purchase.
Tampa, the United Bikers Jamboree is going down July 1st through the 4th with competitions like the cleanest bike or slingshot, loudest sound system, and whoever traveled the furthest, we hooking you up too. Live performances by Nappy Roots. Get ready for Nelly, Tiger, Travis. Also in the house, the Beatdown Band, Big Moochie, and violinist Dominique Hammond. Hosted by DJ Greg Street, Queen B, and FHO Big Set. Discounted RV and hotel packages available at UnitedBikers.com.
FHO Towing, your premier luxury motorcycle towing company, specializing in all motorcycles, ATVs, trikes, and cycle-related vehicles. FHO Towing is bonded, licensed, and insured. Why tow with the rest when you can be towed by the best? Contact FHO Towing at 404-423-8183 or 404-593-9695. Can't get it to the shop? We also pick up by appointment. Don't forget, we know how to take care of your ride because we ride. Follow us at FHOtowing.com, Instagram, FHO_towing, Facebook, FHO Towing. Select Luxury Cars, proud sponsor of the FHO Podcast Live Show. The most diverse luxury vehicle selection in the greater Atlanta area. The highest quality customer service and unmatched nationwide pricing. Contact Mike Goodall at 678-855-2292 to schedule your appointment today. Select Luxury Cars, trusted family dealer since 1994.
All right, man, we are back live, man. We're talking to the Kool-Aid Diaries, man. I got my man Q Morgan in the building, my man A Hooper, my man Daryl Perkins. Say, gentlemen, good stuff. Love the topic. Wall Street. Okay, that's my man, Mr. Wall Street.
Yeah.
My man, Mr. Wall Street. He's
That's what's up, man. I mean,
he's real big in Bitcoin. He's been doing his thing, and he got plenty of money in that shit. So that's what got me into it. So he's doing his thing. All right, so we back, Corey. You want to take it to the segment to another? What you want to talk about now?
So we talked about paying off your debt, right? We talked about maxing out your defined benefits. Defined benefits or defined contribution is what most people are gonna have, and again, those are 401ks, 403bs, those things. Do not leave that money on the table. But the next thing is, because you've set your goal, right? Make no mistake, as black people in this country, that goal is you're gonna have detours, right? That's why we need life insurance, right? In our family, what Precise was talking about earlier in the first segment was how all of this came about, and it really came about because we started saying, "Hey, let's make sure that everybody in our family has life insurance." So we put together a life insurance collaborative. I put together a small model where, everybody over a certain age, we said, okay, we're going to cover 15 people, right? Over, I think it was 50 years old at the time. And the way that this works is we get a term policy, and they're only going to give you up to $50,000 because of the age. And I think it's 15 years or whatever it was. So if somebody passes away, you split that money with the family. They get $25,000 for burial expenses. You get the other $25,000 to cover premiums. And as people pass away, because we all gonna die, we act like we gonna live forever when we not.
Not me.
Right. You gonna die.
No, sir.
Right. So knowing that, this is a contingency, just like having the investments that we talked about, having a hedge and things like that is a contingency. So basically, the way it works is you split the money, the insurance claim with the family, the immediate family, to pay burial expenses, and then your extended family or your extended group, you pay additional premiums until everybody is covered. You don't need a variable life. You don't need a whole life. Those are nice to have, right? But you don't need to have those. But you do need to have insurance. If you have insurance through your job, it is not portable. You lose your job, you're going to lose that insurance. If you have life insurance that's portable or assignable is also important too, because if you pass away and you have insurance through your job, you're not going to be able to get that immediately. So that's the next thing.
And if you don't know what the policy contains, you might not get it at all.
Right.
So they're going to give you a insurance certificate while they have the original policy, and you don't know what's in that policy.
Right. But term, at least. And go out there and get as much as you can afford, and as long a term as possible. And what that term is really just allowing you to do is to build up your education and your wealth to where you don't need an insurance policy like that.
Okay.
Right.
And all of these things are taught in amongst the group.
Absolutely. We don't just talk about stocks. Although we are focused on stocks, we talk about real estate. We talk about everything. And I'll give you an example. With the current conditions in the market, everybody's like, okay, I need to buy a house, right? Because I don't want to get priced out the market. Just like you wouldn't buy that Toyota Camry for $80,000, but I'm going to give you 0% interest, right? It sounds absurd to you, but that's exactly what's happened in the housing market. But you're saying, I need a house for tax purposes. Well, how do you hedge your equity in the house? Let's say, for example, you go out and buy a house for $400,000, and then you need to, and your house goes up to $500,000. You have let's say you put down $100,000, you probably have $150,000 worth of equity. That's real money if you sold your house. How do you hold on to that? So if interest rates normalize, and they will, just like they did in 2008, how do you hold on to that equity that's in your house, that value of your home, that had you sold it, you could have walked away with $100,000? How do you hold on to that? There's a way that you need to hedge that, and unfortunately, they don't make it easy for us to do that. That's part of the reason I haven't bought my investments properties, because I know interest rates are going to normalize, and when they do, then I can go out and buy 2 or 3. But we talk about that too. We talk about, because I think it was 83% of black wealth is in their homes, right? And if that's the case, what happens when interest rates normalize? If interest rates normalize, let's say that we have something worse than 2008. A lot of people don't see that coming. I work in risk management for billion-dollar companies. It's coming. When it happens, it's immaterial. When it happens, it's going to be biblical. It's going to be devastating for most. And if America catches a cold, black people catch the flu.
If America catches a cold, black people catch the flu. What the hell it is there? Reason why I say I'm gonna live forever too, because I ain't taking my COVID shot. Fuck that. But anyway, so the conversation to me, Corey, is interesting. I mean, Q is interesting based on the fact that these are not normal conversations that we have. We don't even know how to have these conversations.
Right.
Do you find it hard to preach this to people?
I don't. What I do is I meet people where they are, because some people will join our call. They don't even know what stocks are. Yeah. Some people will join our call and they're a little bit more advanced. They at least have money invested in their 401ks. Okay. And they're saying, okay, I haven't created a number yet. We're going to start there, right? Let's find out what your number is. And how do we determine what your number is? You may not know. How much do you want as a passive income coming in every month? You say, okay, I can live off 5,000, but 6,000 would be nice. Okay, you multiply that 6,000 times 12. Okay, that's what you need a year. Then you multiply that times how long you're going to need it. How long you going to need it? Okay, well, I need it for 20 years.
1.4 million.
Yeah, it's like $2 million. But you don't need $2 million. Keep in mind, we're going to be growing your money from 6 to 8% a year. Right? So you might need $650,000 to invest. You might need $1 million, but $650,000 of that is going to be invested. You're going to grow that over time 6 to 8% a year on average. We're doing triple those numbers, but that's not normal. The numbers that we're doing now are outliers. But if you're growing on average every 3 years, you can say I grew my money 8%. You're going to grow that $650,000 into that $2 million that you need. So, right.
All right, Sice. I mean, how well you been doing, Sice?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, just like I was telling
Percentage
you,
basis.
Percentage basis.
Yeah, don't give out real numbers because it's relative, right?
Okay. Well,
I'll say
last
this.
year I did actually. When I look at my portfolio, it says 83%.
Last year was an outlier. I mean, again,
just like Corey said, it is unnormal.
Yeah.
My man Nicholas say life insurance is a tool that other people use to create legacy wealth.
Yeah.
It is one of the only things that isn't a gamble. Your death is certain.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what's up. And if we don't have that, what we don't want to be doing as a people, like we all do, somebody passed away, you got a GoFundMe account and you pass and had it.
I already told everybody, man, if I die and my wife do a GoFundMe account, she's stealing. We got 3-4 insurance.
You know what I'm saying?
We got 3-4 insurances, man. You know what I'm saying? So they be deducting every chance they get. So
that's what's up,
I'm just
man.
saying. So and I ride motorcycles too. So my whole thing of it is just for me. I didn't get life insurance I just got it because it's the responsible thing to do.
Right.
You know, if you're gonna be out here doing what you do, taking a risk, because every day we ride these motorcycles, we take a risk. At least make it to where if something happened to you, it's not that bad of a burden. I mean, life is supposed to be that way anyway.
Right.
But this other part that you guys are teaching and preaching about is definitely something that I think is very interesting. I think too, Corey, one of the biggest things that may help is that do you ever teach on the what is this called? The abbreviations, like when you say CNB.
Yeah.
CNB is CNB that was on the movie New Jack City. G Money them.
I am my brother's keeper.
Yeah. So do you ever teach on those terminology? Because that's another thing too. For us as a people, I know this for a fact. Even me, if somebody's talking and they get to saying stuff that I don't understand, I just zone out. I'm done.
Most people do.
Yeah.
And what we do is we create relationships. Part of the reason that I'm here, in addition to, birthdays and all that stuff, is we have networking events where we go out and let people meet, put faces to names and all that, because our network is New York, New Jersey, Texas, specifically Atlanta, but other parts of Georgia, mostly in California, Arizona. So we have small groups of people in all these different places. Oh, I forgot Virginia.
So basically what you do is you host real live events where we can get off Facebook and come together and see each other.
Because if you're comfortable, you're going to expose a little bit more information about who you are. People get to meet. Keep in mind, this is not just about stocks. We have people that do real estate. We have people that are DJs, right? We're networking and saying, okay, we need a DJ in your LA. Okay, well, we can do this. You need a house. This person sell homes. You have we have different people.
Just like you got a podcast. I want to get into podcast now that you in the network.
Right.
I come to you.
Okay.
And then
you got people that you could actually trust. Because it's
once you let your hair down and that guard is down, then people are more open to ask those questions. Okay, well, what is the PE ratio?
Yeah.
All right, let's break it down for you, right? All of those acronyms, because we speak in jargon. You be like, man, I don't have time to do it. I'm going to put my money over here and bring Dogecoin, and we going to see what it do.
Because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hand you this little bread, man. Just let me know when my money makes some money, man.
That part. Right?
You understand me? That's just how I look at it,
but
man.
we rather educate you.
Yeah,
right.
I got you.
You know
I got you.
Because what we want to do is we want to leave a legacy, not just the money.
I mean, but you gotta understand this. I'm gonna say this, and I'm speaking for all the average people.
Most of the people.
Yeah, most of the people. Yeah. If I understand what's going on, then I'm more secure in what's going on. You understand what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
So if I give you, okay, Corey, I'm gonna give you 5Q, and you say, how long is it gonna take me to make this back, or when I'm gonna get some money back? But
Right.
if I understand it, then when I give it to you, I don't have to ask those questions,
right?
Because I already, you understand?
Which is part of the reason why we have
already understand. So for me, My biggest thing, and this may help a lot of people out too. My biggest problem is I don't really have time to master it.
Right.
One thing about me and my dad just told you guys, anything I get involved with, I got to dominate it. I got to
Right.
destroy it. Like, lately I've been in a drone thing, and I got every license possible. I'm actually a certified, for real, I'm a certified licensed pilot. And my boy was in here clowning today talking about, well, next you got to get insurance. I already got that.
Right.
Because I got to have insurance just in case I come to your event and I'm flying and the drone hits you and you fake a Charles Barkley block or something. You feel what I'm saying? But but what I'm saying is this. So for me, I appreciate somebody like you knowing the terminology, and if I need to know, what does this mean? What does that mean? So I'm gonna take, and I'm speaking this way. So I'm asking this question, and I'm saying this. I'm answering this question for all of my people that are not as educated and maybe scared to ask it. So for me, I'm looking for somebody that I can trust to say, okay, Sale, hey, I know you don't know everything, because that's one of the biggest things too. Is like you give your money to people and this and this and that, but with this group, the fact that okay, I can chime in and I can ask questions and not feel dumb or not be shamed about not knowing.
So we have
But
a
that's
couple
the
of
same thing as what your boy was saying earlier. Everybody want to be a boss, but don't want to put in the work. When you hear people, instead of zoning out, when people is talking about things you don't know, write some of those things down and go find out what they are, because now you know.
But to that point, you're
And
saying,
that's one thing we don't do. We don't try to find out. We don't want to do the work.
and you're gonna have some people that just don't have that time, right?
Yeah.
So what we say do, if you have an hour to join this call and you have those things written down, we're gonna address those questions specifically, because given the information, things grow incrementally. And I'll say it this way. You go to the grocery store and buy a whole bunch of groceries, right? And what a lot of us don't know how to do is compartmentalize, right? So you go into the grocery store, you buy $400 worth of groceries. You're not going to eat it all at once like Scooby-Doo. You're going to put some in the refrigerator, right? You're going to cook some, and you're not going to
Put
eat
some
everything.
in the deep freezer, some in the regular
Right.
freezer, yeah.
All of that. Then you're going to put some on your plate. You're going to eat your whole plate at once? No. You can only consume what's on the tip of your spoon or fork at once. As you ask that question about price earnings ratio, you ask this question about Dogecoin, you ask this question about Nvidia, and you start to make money, that money becomes an incentive. You'd be like, oh man, my account is going up. My own wife. I don't understand that. That's not what I do. I don't want to be sitting here looking at the computer every 3 weeks. Not every day. I don't want to look at every month. You just go do it, and I'm like, okay, no problem, because I knew where she was. When she started seeing her account go parabolic, now she interested. She's like, oh, now I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Right now I can see.
I mean, and that's the same concept too. And to bring up my man, Mr. Wall Street, that was the same thing too with Bitcoin. When he brought us to the Bitcoin, is that when you don't understand stuff, but when you start making money, that interests you to say, okay, well now I need to know. For me and for most of my listeners, I'm gonna speak on this behalf. Is that again, for me, okay, with everything that I got going on, I know this is one thing I do know, and God has gifted me with this along with my dad has taught me this, son. Whatever you don't invest your time and your mind into, it can't grow.
Yeah.
Just like plants. If you don't sit there and talk to the plant and water the plant and check on the plant, then it's gonna turn in from a plant to a weed. It's gonna be a wildflower.
Mm-hmm. So we've come full circle.
Yeah.
We started off with we already prayed.
Yeah.
A lot of people stopped there.
Yeah.
The next part is planning. A lot of people don't want to do the planning.
Yeah.
Planning is saying, okay, I need $3 million in 20 years.
Yeah.
Right. And people will stop there. But you need to practice. What's my man name? But anyway, Jordan, Tiger Woods, and Venus Serena Williams, they've all spent their 10,000 hours practicing
their craft.
Right? Kobe, they didn't just want to be good, they wanted to be great. You reap what you sow, just like the Bible say. You didn't sow much.
Yeah.
You're gonna reap not much.
I saved my one coin, master.
Right?
Okay, well, Give me
Malcolm.
Give that to the one who said the most.
Yeah,
Malcolm
Malcolm
Gladwell wrote a book called Outliers. Read that book. If you ain't good in investing, read Malcolm Gladwell's book Outliers, and you'll understand that you need to invest something in order to get something back.
There it is, there, man. So, listen, ladies and gentlemen, again, it was a pleasure to have these people, my people here to speak on this. And I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna say this, and I don't mean these is regular niggas. I know they talking this kind of talk, but these is regular. You know what I'm talking about? These is my regular folk. These ain't no super fit. These is in Compton, California, born and raised in the hood. We done been through it all. You know what I'm saying? Some of the stuff we can't still talk about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
As a statute of limitations,
it's still valid right now. It's some asses that done got whooped and some more shit. But I'm just saying. So to me, that's what makes it even more profound to hold on to, because this ain't just people that's telling us this that we never will know or we never will see. Because some people's platform is so high, you expect that to be for that person.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys being regular people, you guys being my family, and you guys being like I said here and regular touchable people, that's what makes it even more real for me. And again, to hear where you guys are, to hear where we are as men. Coming from where we come from, we come from a blessed family.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Hands down, we come from a blessed family. Neither of us really wanted for nothing. We needed nothing. We wanted whatever we wanted. Ataris and and what else was the game?
Vision,
and all that stuff.
And television.
Yeah, and I still ain't forget you and Tony for playing with my damn football game, my head to head before I played with it. You know what I'm saying? But,
need is a very relative word. I wanted more than cornflakes.
That's part right there, yeah.
Not frosted flakes. It just said cornflakes on the box.
Yeah,
right.
Mine just said flakies sometimes.
Corn flakies.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I think that's what's most important. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you feel like calling in, the number's on the bottom of the screen. If you want to ask any questions, the phone lines are open as well. Also, if you want to add whatever it is that you know about the stock market, or if you want to join this group, this would be the time now to call and speak with Q and see if how to find out how to get added to this group. And again, this is a group, and listen, you have to applaud the fact that somebody even wants to give you the game.
Right.
That's because, see, to me, like I say, the most underpaid profession in the United States, in the world, to me right now, is a teacher. Anybody, to me, you crazy as shit to be a teacher right now. You want me to raise your badass child. You know what I'm saying? You want me to teach your child. I don't make but this kind of money, but you want me to sit here and teach your child. So right now, Corey, I definitely have to applaud you for teaching this game and for knowing the game and for giving us.
To whom much is given,
much is reserved.
Exactly.
You have to call on the number that's on the screen. That's so I can put you on. Oh, you did. Hold on. Why is it not? Hold on. Let me get you on the board. All right. Hold on. You should be on there. All right. Caller, state your name. Where you calling from?
What's up, Big Phil, man? It's Wall Street.
What's going on,
to the brothers out there? How you guys doing?
Good, man.
Man, going good, and man, I'm enjoying the content, man. I love it because I teach this stuff as well, man. I love what you said about insurance. I love what you say about the stocks, about getting into the game.
Right.
Everything you're saying is on point. Definitely, our people need to get more into this.
Right.
Definitely got to get into the crypto space as well. I've been doing insurance for a long time as well. Got a policy. I use whole life. I do a whole life policy. So I set it up in a way that I can borrow from my policy within my first 15 days.
Mm-hmm.
So I overfund it. But what you guys are doing, man, I think it's needed out there. I'm glad to see other brothers are preaching the same thing, getting it out there. And I just want to shout out, yes, sir, just shouting out to Big Phil, man, for his content. I tell him all the time that this content that he's putting out there is bigger than biking, because a lot of bikers go to work, they get their money, they put it all in a bike. But it's good that you guys are giving a new idea about, okay, let's build up this wealth at the same time and enjoy,
wealth,
you know.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We know that. We don't want
Absolutely.
just wealth in our lifetimes. We want to be able to pass it down, right? You know,
generational.
I ain't
wealth.
passing shit. I'm taking all mine with me. So,
No, sir.
I'm
No,
saying,
sir. We ain't
you
gonna
know,
let you do that.
my kids, I ain't leaving the nigga nothing, man. I'm
Yeah.
just give me all. If I got 2 days to live, how much I got in the bank? Spend it.
Right.
I'm Brewster's millionaire around this.
And you know, if you look at to the point you're making, if you look at the Warren Buffetts and people of the world, that they're doing the same thing, but what they're doing is they're giving their kids the game. So by the time that they pass away, the kids are already gonna have generational wealth and legacy wealth.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
let me ask you this
Absolutely.
question, Mr. Wall Street. And, you know, me and you talk about this all the time. How hard is it to get our people to even listen or take a chance at having this type of knowledge? For you, how hard is it?
All right. So to be honest with you, and I'm just going to say it outright,
Yeah.
we still wearing this big chain around our head, the chain of slavery around our head, because if they can't see it, what happens is they don't even want to talk about it.
But
like, for example, even my own family, I had, I made $1 million a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell my family about crypto, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do none of that. But they still call me for money.
That's gonna happen, right?
So it's gonna happen. It's just the way it is. And then it took me years to get my own brother. It took me years to get him to see that and to get him into insurance.
Yeah.
And so so that chain is still there.
Mm-hmm.
We just gotta keep pushing. Not give up on them. Just keep pushing. And then one day they'll catch up. They'll get it, and then they'll say, "You know what? I'm glad I did it." And I just love the concept. You know, since you guys talking about this a few minutes ago about the family,
Right.
I call it the family bank.
Mm-hmm.
I call it the family bank. We get about 20 people in the family to get together $500 a month,
Mm-hmm.
put into a policy, whole life policy.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is in a year, it'd be worth over $1 million. Right? And so the next person need a house or car
Right.
or
Exactly.
something like that, they can always go to the family bank and take the funds from that. So we don't have to wait till they die.
Get an
We can start
interest-free
doing
loan.
it while
Exactly.
we all alive and make it happen. There you go.
Interest-free
go.
loan, you know,
And
and
I
even
love
for a
that.
business, I mean, that was our, if you think about what Precise was talking about, that was what we were aiming for originally. But to the point you were making earlier is, I have a saying, you cannot describe the color blue to blind people. You can only help them see. And most of our people are blind in that regard, with all due respect. It's not condescending. It's we haven't been taught. We don't learn through osmosis. We have to be taught. And people respond to incentive. If you give people an incentive, they're going to respond. If I walk in the bank and say, "Hey, I need $200," and I ain't got nothing, they're gonna laugh at me. But if I do it with a gun and I say I need 200,000, they got an incentive given to me, right?
Yeah.
Bad analogy, but they have an incentive.
That's a good
No, my
analogy.
people understand. My people understand that.
Okay.
You know that's how they've been used to getting down.
Great
So
analogy.
they understand that. But Mr. Wall Street, man, as always, brother, you know I love you and I appreciate you, even for kicking my original other knowledge off and really motivate me. We have done super well, me and my wife. When I say we have done well, and again, I think the biggest thing for me though, Alex, was when you start saying save. Save what? Because you don't really think you have the money to save. You feel what I'm saying? So you start saying, if the door should be open. Tamasha! She got it, Corey. She got it. Yeah. You don't really think you have the money to save.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? So when you go to talk about saving, save what? I don't got no extras. But then when you really sit down and put the plan in motion, you really realize how much money you really do have to save.
But to that point you're making that's part of the reason why we're going through defined contribution, because a lot of people say, I don't have money to max out my 401k. And let me show you where to get it, and it's not going to cost you much.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, so there it is there. But I appreciate you, Mr. Wall Street.
All right, my brother. I appreciate you, Big Phil, and to the guests, man. Y'all keep it up, brother. Y'all doing a great job, man. You guys take care. God bless.
God bless.
So,
Yeah, that's my man. That's another one of my financial tips advisors type.
That's
of,
what's
you know
up.
what I'm saying? So, and again, man, I just been surrounding myself really with people that are on a different zone and level than me. So that's what it is, man. But Sice, if you could lead the people with one thing listening, what would it be, brother? Good, bad, life, financial, whatever.
look here, man. We just got to get started. Just got to get started.
Major. Get started. What you got for him, Q?
I go back to where we came from, man. 3 P's: pray, plan, and practice.
Pray, plan, and practice.
Pray, plan, and practice. All 3.
I'm gonna add this. The biggest thing is this, and this is what I had to teach my wife. If you sacrifice now, you don't have to sacrifice later on. You feel what I'm saying? Make the sacrifices now. Make the sacrifices while you have the time to sacrifice.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't have the time. They don't make time to sacrifice. When you get older, you don't have the time to sacrifice because now you're trying to hold on to everything you got. But right now, you got plenty of time to make sacrifices.
What's up?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So instead of spending the 40, go on and give her a dove and keep a dove for yourself. You understand me? So, but that's what it is, man. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Listen, if you need information about getting in the group, and hit me up later if you're watching this, listening to this. And then don't forget to support the channel. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. If you listen to me on a podcast format, please make sure you like it. Put a heart on there. If you listen to me on YouTube or watching me on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. Again, your subscriptions means more than your views. So I need you to understand that. My analytics say a lot of you guys watch me, but you're not subscribed to me, and that is more important. I need the subscriptions in order to keep going forward. Don't forget, we got the new show coming up, OGs on Chrome. We start filming for that next month. If you do any kind of business that concerns the black culture, the set, the motorcycle set, or anything, if you're a creator, a designer, make sure you hit me up, man, so that we can pull up on you. Because that's what this show is about. The show is about giving back, paying homage to the G's before us, and going forward with the new G's. A lot of you guys don't even realize how you are the next generation of G's, OGs and G's and stuff like that. So, Corey, even you now, you have become a part of that same platform for my TV show because, again, your job is to say, hey, not only am I going to teach you how to buy a motorcycle, but I'm going to teach you how to buy your kids a motorcycle and so forth and so on. So, it's a beautiful thing, man. Appreciate you guys. Sice, I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
And to my dad who just walked in with the food, we definitely appreciate you. You understand? To the big fella, man. We love him as mad love. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I appreciate you. As always, I tell you the 5 things. Love yourself. Have enough love in yourself to have some love for me. Mind your business. Stay in your own lane. And remember, nobody is greater than God. So, whoever your God is, however you serve God, is somebody greater than you. And as long as you understand that, in this world, you will be all right, man. So continue to do what you do, ladies and gentlemen. While we're going to get up out of here, man. And I love you. It's your boy, Big Cell, FHO, HNIC, man. We outro.
Y'all, this Big Punch from the motherfucking candy shop. We chilling over here with Big Cell, man, the FHO, NIC, KEMMY, man, you know what I mean? All them alphabets, man. About to get all that shit going. Holla.
Yo, man, it's your boy Big Sarge from Florida Chapter Soul Brothers, man. Y'all know how I get on. I'm always listening to my man, Big Cell from FHO Podcast Radio. He keep it motorcycle.
It's Baby Slip from Rare Breed Mother Chapter. Out here chilling with Big Cell from FHO. We finna get it in for y'all. You dig?
This your boy Compton LC, aka Lil Chill. And when I'm not recording, I'm listening to FHO Podcast Radio. Tap in.
Hey y'all, this is Rob from Money's Car Stereo on the west side. Hey, when I'm not out here working on my old Chevys or putting some music on somebody's bike, I'm listening to the FHO Podcast Show.
Hey, what's going on out there, everybody? It's the King Cosmo representing the Kings of the South. And you know I'm always listening to FHO Podcast Radio with my brother, my OG, my legend, Big Cell.
This your boy, DJ D-Lo, coming to you straight out of Dallas, Texas. And you're listening to FHO Podcast Radio, hosted by Big Cell, Fast Harleys Only, HNIC, where nothing but the truth will be told.
So, you still keeping it 100. Well, keep hitting those asses with the truth on FHO Podcast Radio.
I'm enjoying my motherfucking life. That's all I'm saying. I advise you to do the same. Do shit that make you happy.
Hey, cocksucker. Yeah, you. Knock it off. Can you sit your ass down?
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
You think we playing?
And I ain't playing, no.
You better listen up.
It's the FHO Live Podcast, where the truth will be told. We promise you that.